and welcome to the IB Diploma Programme introduction for 2021 to 23. My name is Becky Hillier and I am the IB Diploma Coordinator, and it's my hope to help you through the process of selecting subjects for the IB Diploma Programme for your child for August 2021. So this is a timeline of the process that we use at LIS. So we begin the introductions now with this introduction to you, and the students have also been introduced to the subject choice form last Monday, and next Monday following I will continue with the next group. So by December the 11th, we would hope to receive the form that will also be attached to the parent portal so that you can see it as well, back from the students to show us their initial choices for their preliminary subjects for next year. Now, we realise that this is a process and this takes some time, and so this is why we have a preliminary round. Following December and the submission of that first subject choice form, the students will take their mock examinations in January. This might change things. We realise that they may realise that they have certain strengths in certain subjects and perhaps weaknesses in others that they had initially selected. And so they may want to change what they plan to do for next year. In February, early February, we will offer a series of interviews. This is detailed in the letter that's attached to the parent portal. And please make appointments with myself or Frau Schleif to talk about next year. Following the mock exams and these interviews, the students will be required to submit their final subject choice form. Same round again, really, the same form, but of course we realise things may have changed from November when they started thinking about this process, and we would hope to have those final subject choices in by usually the end of March. So that's March 2021. We realise again that things may change after the examination session in May and the issuing of results in July. So as we start in August, we would then provide the opportunity for students to again rethink perhaps what they would like to study on the IB Diploma. They may also need to consider retaking some subjects at IGCSE level. There's another chance here to rethink subject choices, and of course they can do this in consultation with either myself or Frau Schleif as well. The induction programme then, the introduction to the diploma programme, will begin in August 2021. So that's the timeline of the process. We're at the beginning of that now, and it's my job to help you through and the students through this process, and also to allow our school to plan the number of classes that we need, the number of teachers that we need for each subject area. So this is the programme model for the diploma. And you can see at the centre is the student or the learner, and the concentric circles that surround the student are detailed in those circles on the model. So we start with the approaches to teaching and learning, and the diploma programme focuses very much on independent and inquiry-based learning. So we have a number of different approaches that we use in our teaching of the programme, and they include making sure the students are well versed in research skills, thinking skills, communication skills, self-management skills, and that they have a good set of tools to enable them to access and to be successful in the programme. The next concentric circle shows you or details the three core components of the diploma. So these are all compulsory components if students want to achieve the full diploma. They are the theory of knowledge, the extended essay, and the CAS programme. The next circle round is what we're here to discuss really today and now, and that is the different subject groups, and what students will select in those groups will determine their programme. And you can see that there are 6 groups. At the top we have the courses in studies in language and literature, then in language acquisition, and then in individuals and societies, mathematics, science, and the arts. So there are 6 boxes on the form, and students are initially encouraged to try to select one subject from each box. It is possible, however, if students, for example, are bilingual, that in group 1 they take 2 language A's. So language A is meant for students who are mother tongue in that language or are very well developed and proficient in that language. It is possible, therefore, to take 2 language A's and to skip the group 2 language B or ab initio box. However, if students want to just pursue one language A and take a second language acquisition course, that would be a course that they have some knowledge of for language B. They may have studied it at IGCSE and they may have studied it elsewhere in different school systems before, but it will not be their first language. Ab initio is an opportunity to take a language from the very beginning, and we offer in our school this in German only. So students coming in may take a first language and either a B or an ab initio language in group 2, or they may take 2 A languages, and one of those may be a self-taught language, which I can talk about in more detail if anybody's interested in that. But that would be a language that is other than German or English. In the past, for example, we have offered students who offer Korean or Japanese or Arabic the chance to study that as their language A. Now coming to group 3, individuals and societies, more commonly known usually as social science or social studies. And within that box, we offer business and management, you can see on the form, geography and history. All, as with the other languages of these courses, are offered at higher and standard level. Group 4, the natural sciences. Students should select one natural science from this box, so biology at higher or standard level, chemistry and physics, higher and standard level. Mathematics, there are 2 strands of mathematics. There is the AA strand and the AI strand, and I've encouraged students already to please talk to their maths teachers about the distinction between these 2 strands. The Analysis and Approaches course, the AA course, is designed for students who are highly competent in mathematics or who may wish to study mathematics later on at university level, or a component of mathematics in a university course like engineering, for example. And the AA course is available at higher and standard level. AI is more about mathematics in application, the use of mathematics throughout the other subjects and in society, in the real world. And this would be for students that are perhaps looking to pursue non-scientific or mathematical studies in the future, maybe something like law, for example, or students that also do struggle with mathematics. And for those students, we would probably recommend the AI standard level course. Group 6 is a mixture. It offers the arts, and we have 2 subjects within that. We have music at higher and standard level and the visual arts at higher and standard level. This box also allows students to select an additional subject or an elective, and this can serve to help a linguist to do a 3rd language. So they may have one language A and wish to do 2 language Bs, for example, or a language ab initio. It enables our social scientists to do a 2nd individuals and societies or group 3 subject. So if they have selected business, for example, in group 3, they may then select history or geography in group 6 as an additional social science. Same for the natural sciences. Students wish to do a second science from the one they've selected in group 4. They can do this in the electives box. Okay, so on our website, under the curriculum 11 to 12 IB Diploma Programme tab, we have a very detailed booklet which will give you more information about what content is studied in each course and the difference between higher level and standard level assessment tasks. So if students are interested and would like to know the difference between, for example, biology standard level and biology higher level, this is the place to have a look and see what's included in terms of the content and the requirements for assessment. This is currently being updated. The one from last year, there are not many changes to that. We just need to update the music course, which is ongoing at the moment. That will be there as soon as possible. So an IB diploma looks basically like the model that I showed you at the beginning. It includes 3 higher level subjects and 3 standard level subjects. So out of the 6 subjects that the students will select, 3 need to be at least at higher level and 3 at standard level. It will include also an extended essay, a theory of knowledge course, and a CAS programme. Now, the difference between the higher level and the standard level courses is twofold, really. The number of hours that students will spend per week in studying these courses, and also the number of assessment expectations or the exam papers, the depth of knowledge within those subjects is also the difference. So, for example, a higher level biology student may take an additional examination paper to standard level students at the end of the programme in May 2023. There may also be some differences in the weighting, the percentage rating of the internal assessment work. That's the equivalent really to coursework that students will undertake in the school with guidance from their teacher. So high level subjects tend to have less of a weighting for their internal assessments than standard level, usually about 30% to 25% in difference. Okay, so here are some samples of subject selections for students that may want to pursue particular careers or academic pathways in the future. So you can see the linguist has been able then to take 3 languages. The engineer has been able to take 2 sciences and mathematics at a higher level. And a generalist, somebody wanting to keep the door open or the options open because they're not quite sure yet what they would like to study, can have a balanced programme, playing to their strengths, but also keeping the options open for further study or perhaps even vocational pathways. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the core elements of the programme. The extended essay, which is a 4,000-word independent research project that students will undertake within the 2-year programme in one of the 6 group areas. So they may elect to do an essay in the visual arts or in biology or in a language, for example. They do this with the help of a supervisor who is there to guide them and also to mark their draft essays and to complete the reflection form with them throughout the process. Creativity, Activity and Service is a programme that enables students to keep up their interests in creative pursuits, in sports, and to develop a sense of service learning to the local community, the international community, and to the environment, for example. And they're expected to complete a number of activities and experiences which they must document and must have some verification of by a supervisor. This is all done on a system called ManageBack and needs to be approved at the end of the programme by the CAS coordinator. The CAS programme has one period a week where students can check in with their CAS supervisor, and this enables the supervisor to hold individual interviews and to give them guidance on the creation of the group project, for example. The Theory of Knowledge is a critical thinking course which encourages students to think about the subjects that they take across the diploma and look into the specific methodologies of those different academic disciplines, but also to ask the central question of how do we know what we know? Where do our sources of knowledge or information come from? And how can we evaluate and assess these? This is a taught course, so this comprises 2 lessons a week, and there are 2 assessments which are non-examination assessments, although they are assessed by the IB. They don't comprise part of the examination session at the end of the course. So they will do for 2021 to 23 an exhibition, and they will do an essay which will be assessed by an IB examiner. Okay, as I said before, students need to pass and complete all 3 of these core elements of the programme in order to achieve the diploma. There's some examples there of the subjects in which students can undertake an extended essay. They'll have more introduction to this process once they start the programme, and I will typically do an introduction to the extended essay process in November of the first year, and they will have checkpoints throughout the diploma programme to help them manage their time. Okay, it is supposed to be a piece of independent academic research in order to prepare students for life at university, working independently, developing their research skills, and being able to reflect on what they've learnt in producing a piece of academic writing. So it should be an in-depth study, the topic of interest within an IB course. Okay, and it comprises of a research question, academic writing and reflection, as I said before, analysis, evaluation, and synthesis of the research question that they set to themselves. The extended essay is guided by a supervisor in the school, but is ultimately marked by an IB examiner. So it's sent away at the end of the course, usually typically February of 2023 it would be, and assessed by an IB extended essay examiner in that subject. The Theory of Knowledge, as I've said, it's a course comprised around the question of how do we know, and it looks into two specific areas, really, how we gain knowledge through the ways of knowing, perception, language, emotion, reason, intuition, imagination, and the specific areas of knowledge, so mathematics, history, the arts, for example. And students will be required to reflect critically on these diverse ways of knowing and compare them, and look at the distinctions but also the connections in trying to solve problems in the real world. The CAS programme is experiential learning, service learning and reflection. It's designed to develop self-confidence, empathy and a willingness to help others, but also to help students to gain a balance between their academic and their personal life and their free time, and to encourage them to engage with sport, engage with creative pursuits, music and drama and visual arts, even if that's not part of their subject choice selection. They can still, through the CAS programme, engage with these areas and keep a very sort of balanced work-life scenario. Okay, so on to the grading scale, which may be different from what you have experienced before. The IB grading scale goes from 1 to 7, with 7 being the best score. and students are assessed on this grading scale throughout the programme using rubrics, assessment rubrics that test particular skills and develop particular attributes in the students based around the learner profile. You can see that we've put this in a traffic light. This is just to give you some sort of indication of what we expect for a passing grade, and that would be really a 4 and above. In the grand scheme of things, in the end, the students can get A3 as long as it's balanced by at least a 5 or above in other subjects. And the requirement to attain the IB Diploma Programme is a total of 24 points. It is possible, however, to score with 6 subjects at a 7 in each subject, a total of 42 points. And that's in the specific subject groups. In addition, the extended essay and theory of knowledge assessments are combined together in something called the IB matrix, which students will be introduced to next year, which allows them to attain potential 3 extra bonus points on top of their subject points, giving the total of 45 points possible top score. And we've had a few students achieve this in the past in the school. It is possible. It's a very demanding programme, and obviously to attain these many points, students need to be very engaged and have a very strong sense of their own time management and work ethic. Okay, but it is possible, and we have a couple of students 2 years ago that achieved this and more with the additional subjects that they chose. Okay, so minimum 24 points, maximum 25 points. There's also another requirement there that students need to attain at least 12 points across their higher level subjects. So it's a 4 in each of their high level subjects to achieve the diploma. So the IB Diploma is recognised in Germany as a university level entrance diploma certificate, and around the world in 90 other countries. So it's globally recognised. It has a strong reputation with universities, and quite often we get students who come back from university and tell us about their experience, noting that the extended essay in particular really helped them to develop the skills they needed at university. The German system does require some additional there are some additional requirements for entry to the German university system, however. And for this, I would refer you to our University and Careers Counsellor, Mr. Justin Sands. I can also give some advice and guidance on this if you wish to come and make an appointment with me. The basic difference between a diploma that's accepted worldwide and the requirements of the German system focuses on the maths courses. So there are some requirements for certain courses at university within the strands of AA and AI and the levels thereof. And there's also a requirement for students to attain a higher level science to gain access to German universities. Language B needs to also be studied at higher level to be recognised for the German system. But again, Mr. Sands can help you with this. And on our website, you will also find a copy of the KMK agreement. The KMK for non-Germans is the equivalent body, the awarding body and educational organisation from each lender in Germany, from each federal state, and they award the points, and they also convert the diploma into the Abitur system points. So you can see there, for example, that 42 points in the IB Diploma equals a 1.0 or an 1,0. And if you have a look also in the diploma course booklet that I referred to earlier, there is a more detailed list of the equivalence charts that you can refer to in that handbook. The CAMCA agreement, I believe, has been translated into English for non-German speakers, and there's a copy of that on our website as well. Okay, so as I said, Mr. Justin Sands is our Careers and University Coordinator. He works mostly with 4 main university systems, and that would be Germany, the UK, the US, and Holland. He will hold information systems for each of these countries in grade 11 for the students next year to inform them, and he'll introduce them to the UniFrog platform, which also helps students to make decisions about courses and universities and systems while they're studying on the diploma programme. And applications typically kind of begin at the end of grade 11 and beginning of grade 12, depending on the system. So Mr. Sands will be working with the students throughout grade 11 to facilitate this. Okay, so just a word about what we would expect, what we would like to have from students coming onto the programme. We'd recommend that students have the German Realschulabschluss or the equivalent of that, and that would be 5 IGCSE qualifications or the equivalent of. We'd recommend that if you'd like to study a standard level course, you have at least a C. And if you're going to study a high level course, a B or above would be definitely beneficial. So for more information from the IB, we have a couple of videos which I'm hoping to attach to the parent portal with the letter that I've previously mentioned and the subject choice form for you to have a look at. These will give you some information about why an IB education is important and effective and desirable. And the IB public website is also very detailed in attempting to answer questions from students, from parents, and can give you a lot more information about the programme overview and assessment model, for example, and also about recognition of the diploma worldwide. So please do have a look at this website for more information. The address is www.ibo.org. Thank you very much, and for any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address will be on the letter that goes up on the parent portal. I'm also available for meetings if you would like to come and talk to me between now and the final subject. Thank you very much.